I already told you people. First one's free. Then what I say? I said I will shut that shit down. No exceptions. Now, I don't know what kind of lying assholes you've been dealing with, but I'm a man of my word. First impressions are important. I need you to know me. So, back to it.
Okay, let's get right into this next part, man. The United States Housing Act, or what they wanted to call urban renewal, air quotations, urban renewal. So I'm gonna just read through this entire paragraph, because that's all that there is, and this part is just one paragraph. Please, y'all, every black person that's watching this video, I encourage you to get this book, How White Folks Got So Rich. It's very important that you get this book. In order for black people to understand themselves and their enemy. Books that you will need are Urugu by Mother Marimba Ani, The ISIS Papers by Mother Frances Cress Wilson, was it Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome by Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome by Mother Joy DeGruy. Breaking the Curse of Willie Lynch. I forget the brother's name. You need Breaking the Curse of Willie Lynch. You need that book. Of course, if you're gonna get Breaking the Curse of Willie Lynch, you're gonna need the Willie Lynch Letter and the Making of a Slave. Just right off the top, books that you are going to need as a black person to understand why you go through what you go through. And of course this book, How White Folks Got So Rich. But to understand why you go through what you go through, how to come out of what you're going through, to better deal with the Caucasian racist white supremacists, and how to unite with your people, understand your enemy. Those are the main books that every single black person needs in their library. And I am going to be focusing on those books because there's so much political undertone that I have to focus on. And when I say political undertone, what I'm saying is those things concerning us as black people, that politics try to indirectly when politics indirectly talk to us using big words that we haven't heard of, or big words that we do know but they have another meaning to the word. But I don't want to talk too much. I'm gonna get right into this part. We're talking about the United States Housing Act. Okay. Getting right into it. Bitterly referred to as the Negro removal. This series of federal laws destroyed some 1,600 black communities in the 20th century. By 1960, 400,000 homes were destroyed, but only 11,000 lower rent replacement units were built. The act allowed discrimination to intensify in outlying areas, forcing blacks and Latinos into the densely populated, geographically constricted confines of the inner city. It also destroyed many black businesses by the displacement of customers and the rerouting of commercial traffic. Now, the entire focus of this part is the conditions that we as black people live in. I've been saying it from the beginning. It came out more when I did the video on Steve Stevens. And it goes back to the quote that Umar Johnson said in Hidden Colors. Also, that's you need those 4 DVD. You have to have those 4. If you're not able to get all 4, please get part 2. I need you to get part 2. Because I just get part 2. Now Umar Johnson said this. Economic castration and poor education are the mother and father of black on black violence. This was the beginning stages of what would soon become inner city, the ghetto, the hood, projects, because redlining, and every other term that you are familiar with when it comes to black people living in a confined place where that place is not taken care of, so to speak, or that may be less appealing to the eye than a gated community. But how this allowed white people to get how this allowed white people to get rich, how this played a part in how white people got rich, is because of land itself. Now, those houses or those units that were being rebuilt, or that were rebuilt, and those persons, moved in those homes, they still had land. Now, I'm pretty sure on that land that they had, they created businesses for themselves. Businesses from out of town came to their particular town. It's just like you have Walmart, big business. You get you a small city like say you got you a small city like maybe Opelousas or Aville or Rain. Those are towns down here in Louisiana. Let's say, matter of fact, I think Rain is more smaller than those. Let's just say Rain has one Walmart, and everyone in that city or everyone in that town goes to Rain. Rain's that one Rain's Walmart. Another Walmart decides to move in. Now they have to do demolitions either in the city. We're just hypothetically speaking. They would have to do demolition in the city, and to do that demolition, and depending on the size of the Walmart, let's just say that it's a Walmart supercenter. You would have to destroy, I want to say, let's use some terms that everyone will be familiar with. Walmart's parking lot by itself will take up let's see, about 8 blocks, and you have Walmart itself, which will probably take up that plus another half. So we're talking about 12 blocks. Okay. It's 12, 14. About 14, 12 to 14 blocks. That's the whole thing. Okay. Now, how many families is that has to find another place to live? Now, check this out. Now, those families who are trying to find them somewhere to stay because the city's not going to be able to pay for them to go anywhere else. These are just like with New Orleans. And New Orleans was a big city, but those persons will have to be, dispersed to go and live with other family members in other cities, or that they would have to be relocated, but at their own expense. And at the same time, and let's just say that these are black people that live and reign in this particular community. Those black people are losing their financial support or their financial cushion. Sinking lower and falling further back in the financial race against white racist supremacists or the white racist system, because that Walmart that's just been placed there, they probably hire other people, but what's the and may hire people that are already in that community. See what I'm saying? And even though you do hire people that are in that very community that you built, you still have to keep in mind, these people had to be moved before the demolition started. And once the demolition is over and they start building, there's no telling, how long it would take. That would probably take them 2 months. Now that probably take about 4 months, and in that 4 months, you falling behind on bills, and things like that. But if that's what you're thinking, that Walmart can hire someone else, to if you're thinking that Walmart can hire someone or those persons that were in that area, they can, but they are still falling behind, in the economic, the racial economic race. But the owner of Walmart, or the owners, owners and what do you call them? Can't think of the name of them right now. The board. All of those people, they get their pockets fatter by the people who shop at that Walmart, while the person who was living on that in that vicinity of where the Walmart is now sitting on top of, those persons are struggling. Now, those of you who love to tell me Stop making excuses and pull yourself up by your own bootstrap. First of all, I'm cooling. So all that other shit, you could you could take that somewhere else. But I speak on behalf of my people because I understand the struggle that my people go through. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that, first of all, we're redlined. We've been forced into the inner city, and being a product of the inner city, we fall victim and we fall prey to those things that happen in the inner city or the ghetto or the hood and things like that. People having to be removed from their homes in order for new businesses to come in, or people just being moved out of their homes because someone decided to come up with a lie saying that the homes were unfit to live in. Just for people to get out, they remodel them, make them better, and then you raise the rent or decide to put it on the real estate market, to sell. But we fall victim, and that goes to another thing that y'all like to say: stop playing the victim. How can we be playing the victim when we are the victim? And we're not just victim because of those things that corporations do. We are victim to the Constitution. We as black people are victim to the judicial system of the United States. We as black people are victims to the stereotype that has been created and we have been forced to feel. Going back to what I said about Steve Stevens, what I said in that video, and you can go and check that out. And I made it not too long ago, so I'm not going to put it in the description or whatever if you want to look for it. But what I said in that video was basically this, and I'm not going to word it verbatim, but what I said in that video was that what Steve Stevens did, it was of his own accord. But what caused him to do that? See, when black people move out of the ghetto into better neighborhoods, black people don't commit crimes on the level that is being committed in the ghetto or in the inner city. When black people move into gated communities and those what you call white people neighborhoods, those black people are trying to escape the black on black violence. They're trying to escape the hell that they have been going through. And they don't want their children to go through what they went through when they were children in the inner city. So when we talk about Steve Stevens, and let's put Steve Stevens in a white person's neighborhood, or someone like Steve Stevens in a white person's neighborhood. Now, he may have still committed the same crime based on what the circumstance was. He was emotionally discombobulated. He was emotionally unhinged. So yeah, possibly the same crime could have been committed. But realistically speaking, if his parents had raised him up in that so-called white person's neighborhood, and being in that neighborhood, you as a black person don't really want to be the oddball, so you mingle with white people, and this is the God honest truth. If you need a friend to vent to, a white person is the best one to get to vent to. Because first of all, you don't have to worry about your business getting into somebody else's ears, versus somebody black. But see, a lot of black people do it just out of concern, whether you want to believe that or not. Black people gossip because they concerned. But like even those people who do just like to gossip, they do it because they are really concerned. They really concerned people. But if he had him a white person to vent to, he would have never committed that crime. Realistically speaking, because we're talking about someone who was searching for an ear to hear him speak. You know what I'm saying? No matter how crazy his family thought he was. You see, all of this shit ties in together. And anybody any white person racist white person who watches these videos and think that you can debunk these facts, I'm sorry, you cannot. There's no way that you can. You can't go back and change documents that are that are in the courts, so to speak. You can't change documents that are in the White House. You can't change documents that's in the legislation. You can't change documents that's in the judicial or wherever those documents are. Those documents are on file. We can look them up, and they're right there in our face. Those are the things that victimize us as black people, because those laws, and damn near every single law on the books, is made specifically for black people to fail. Because whenever we talk about black people and those who are prospering here in America, black people really aren't even in the top 5. Let's put it like that. They're not in the top 5 of the richest people here in America. Black people just are not. I even said that in the very first video of this playlist. In that very first video, they were saying that the number of black billionaires in the United States alone, we're not talking about the world, we're talking about racism right here in America. We are in the we're not even in the 10s. You know what I'm saying? We don't even rank in the top 10 of richest ethnic groups in America. The number one richest people in America is white, and I don't give a damn if you want to call them Jews or if you want to call them white, because Jews and white people are the exact same people. The real Jews is the Zariak and them standing on them street corners, yelling at y'all, trying to get y'all to become Hebrew Israelites and kiss their fucking feet, which I have seen some white people do, by the way. It wasn't ISUPK, but these Hebrew Israelites is on y'all ass. You know what I'm saying? But the real Jews are not white people, and this has been proven over and over and over again. But because those racist white supremacists are the creators of the status quo, the world has no choice but to adhere to it, because these racist whites, if you want to call them Jews, I just said what I had to say. But if you want all these people own the media circuits. They own every single media outlet. And if they want to, which they have, press the issue, then that is what the world is going to intake into their subconscious. But that's pretty much my what I had to say concerning that. But going back to just the overall view of this video. The purpose of this video, the point that this part of the book was making, in my opinion, is that white people get rich off of the degradation, the manipulation, and the exploitation of black people. The manipulation, the exploitation, and the degradation of black people. Degradation, exploitation. What did I say? Degradation, exploitation, and manipulation of black people. That's how white people get so rich. The entire book is saying that. But in this particular part, it just screams it out all the way.
Still there? I don't know. It seems like you're trying to speak. But you just took a hell of a hit. I just popped your skull so hard, your eyeball just popped out. And it is gross as shit. Yeah, I'll find you. Oh, hell. I can see this is hard on you guys. I am sorry. I truly am. But I did say it. No exceptions. You bunch of pussies.